Now there are some crazy things that the universe leaves behind, like us humans, star explosions, supernova, and even galaxies and nebulae. But have you ever thought about these rare things that happen in space? Have you ever thought about maybe perhaps Wolf Rayet stars? Tonight I will be showing you through my camera and telescope setup what it really looks like to photograph a Wolf Rayet star, and I will even be showing you the traces that it left behind, and the results just might shock you. My name is Tanner from AstroTan, and welcome to the YouTube channel. Alright you guys, so we finally made it back from our trip to our Bortle 3 and 4 site, our lake house, and it was an amazing experience. I got some crazy shots of Saturn. Despite all the smoke that was in the sky, we still got some good usable data. But we're back home and it's time to set up for the project that I will be starting tonight, the Wolf Rayet 134, and this is a target that is not commonly photographed, but it is in a very pleasable spot in the Cygnus constellation. Luckily there's no smoke tonight, so I don't even have to deal with that, so it's a plus on my side. It also makes things easier, by the way. But the only issue is that I have a very bright moon tonight, almost a full moon, that will cause definitely a problem in getting some of the exposure and signal that I need. But it's okay regardless, because we still will get a lot of that hydrogen alpha that we really want to see, that will give our image a nice pop. So without further ado, let's get set up. So what are Wolf Rayet stars anyway? I mean, I didn't even know what these were until I started scouring the sky for targets because I was starting to get a little bored of Cygnus. Yet, just like a lot of astrophotographers, I always came back to Cygnus. Cygnus is a rich area of the night sky, especially in the summer, full of nebula and some amazing astrophotography targets. And when I came across this weird catalog WR134, I got a little bit confused. I was like, I didn't even know that there was something there. Now, for visual observers, even though you might not be able to see this, this is located in the constellation of Cygnus, right next to the Tulip Nebula, actually very close to the Tulip Nebula, and also right by the Crescent Nebula, which I photographed before. You can check that out on my Instagram. So anyway, after I did some diving, I found out that Wolf Rayet stars are actually somewhat like supernova. They are really young stars that last only a few 100,000 years, that basically are stars that are about to go supernova, so that means they are about to explode. Now, just like Betelgeuse, this star will brighten and dim, and it will be called also a variable star. Variable stars are when stars will visually brighten and dim from what we can see from Earth. And Wolf Rayet stars actually have some cool effects to them, like they might have these massive ejections right before they explode, and this is what I will be trying to reveal tonight. This is my main focus, but like I said, I don't know if I will be able to get as much with the bright moon tonight. So we're going to see what we can get, but my chances aren't that high because the moon will really wash out a lot of that trace that we really want to see. So I actually brought my deep sky astrophotography rig to my lake house because of those amazing skies, and a few days earlier when I first got there, the skies were perfect. The moon was not really bright. It was only about a crescent to almost half illuminated moon, and every time I've gone up there, it always will say clear on the weather apps, and even on Astrospheric, which is a great astrophotography app. And every time I go up there, there's always something that changes. It'll always become cloudy, and I will never get any nights. Now, I was really lucky to even get Saturn because of all the smoke that we've been getting from Canada. So all my hopes and dreams of even getting any picture at the lake house this summer has almost been washed out, but luckily I might be going there again soon, so we're gonna see what happens. But it would have really helped out for this target with under those dark skies, and the last dark skies that I've seen were from Cherry Springs from June. So a little bit more about Wolf Rayet stars, sick name by the way. So you can compare these a lot to supernova, and supernova are stars that exploded in space, right? Well, Wolf Rayet stars are like the prelude or right before a star will explode. they will kind of give off a little signal. They're like, hey, I'm about to explode right in front of your face. And that's basically what Wolf Rayet stars do. They will give you a little signal, they will start to explode just a little bit, they will dim and brighten, and then they will eventually go boom. And when they go boom, congratulations, you have a supernova, just like the Crab Nebula or the Veil Nebula, which I shot. Now, it's not really common to see a lot of stars that are about to explode. Like, it's very rare to even see that Betelgeuse is starting to explode in the time that it's been, because it's been thousands of years that we've hopefully been seeing this coming. Like, even a few months ago, scientists were able to see visually in the night sky over many months that Betelgeuse is actually brightening and dimming, and that is a signal of a star that's about to explode. Now, normally these stars will just explode. They will expand, they will get colder, and then they will explode. But Wolf Rayet stars will actually give you a little signal. They will actually start exploding just a little bit, and then they will finally go boom. Now, even though a lot of the targets in Cygnus are really bright and colorful and awesome, this is not one of those targets, and trust me. It is a magnitude 8 target, which means that it is actually very faint, a lot on the fainter side. Most targets in Cygnus lie around the magnitude 4 to 5 area, and magnitude 8 is pushing it a little bit faint. So it's going to be a little bit difficult, and I will probably have to image this over many nights. And I mean many nights. Like, I'm thinking almost a full day of exposure on this target. And ironically, Cygnus is just full of amazing bright targets, but sadly for us, this target is just not that bright, so we're gonna have to deal with it anyway. To help out with this, I'll be using my Optolong L-Enhance. It is a light pollution filter that will help narrow down these band paths of light that I want to get in my images. This filter lets in 10 nanometers of HA and 24 nanometers of O3, which is our primary focus here. Now, 24 nanometers of light is actually pretty wide if you're talking on a light pollution block perspective, but it will get the job done, especially in my light polluted skies that aren't luckily that crazy like my friend Ryan, who's in a Bortle 9 sky. I'm in a Bortle 6 to 7 sky, so I'm just a little bit darker, but luckily this filter will definitely help out, and it will save my butt for this target. Now, if you're thinking on getting a light pollution filter for your setup, you definitely should, and I recommend it, especially in a light polluted sky. See, light pollution is getting bigger and bigger and becoming more of a problem every single day. New street lights, houses, and buildings are getting popped up every single day, and the problem just continues to grow and grow. Now, luckily we have these national parks and state parks that might be IDA reserved or International Dark Sky protected, but in these neighborhoods there's no way of getting around completely being shrouded out by a lot of these lights. And this target would definitely not be possible without my filter. So if you're in the market and you want to know any of my recommendations, I recommend a lot of the Optolong filters. Now, some of them can be extremely different from one another, but I recommend the Optolong L Pro for galaxies especially, the Optolong L Enhance, L Extreme, and the recently made Optolong L Ultimate, which will be an amazing and most effective filter of blocking out light pollution. Now, they range from narrow to more narrow, so each will block out more and more light pollution, but it really depends on your sky. If you have a somewhat light polluted sky, but it's a little bit light polluted, I'd recommend the Optolong L Enhance. If you're more on the city sky area, then I would recommend the Optolong L Extreme. If you're on the very light polluted sky, like in the middle of a city or even in Las Vegas itself, I would recommend the Optolong L Ultimate. Now, I'm going to need a really good focus and level of sharpness to get a decent level of detail out of this target. So to help me with this, I'm going to be using a Bahtinov mask. A Bahtinov mask is what you put at the end of your telescope, and what it will do is it will help focus your telescope by showing little diffraction spikes. And once the middle spike is right in the middle of the star, that's when you know that you are in perfect focus. Now, especially with this bright moon, this target might be one of my most challenging targets that I've ever shot before. And this is definitely because of the magnitude, the faint areas of it, my light pollution, and just the moon being out itself. It feels like everything is against me right now, but we're gonna try and we're gonna see what happens. Sometimes all you gotta do in this hobby is just take a shot at something new, and you might never know what you could have accomplished if you didn't shoot that target or didn't take that risk. So we're gonna see what happens tonight. I always like to keep my expectations low because I don't want to disappoint myself at the end. So when we process this, I'm hoping that it will somewhat blow my mind away. And I really think that this could be a good image, so we will see you soon.